Welcome to the Voice of Vicious podcast. Welcome to the Voice of Vicious. I am your host, Vanny Vicious. Guys, I'm sweating. Look at me on a microphone, bro. What the fuck? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Voice of Vicious podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Friday. I am your host, Vanny Vicious. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts every Friday. Just search for Voice of Vicious. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and all of that. Everything you guys need to know will be down below. Today, I am joined by my friend Nelson. He is the host of the Montana Method podcast. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Is this where you cue the...
You were about to do the Elvis. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just got back from Las Vegas.
Yeah?
Yeah. Vegas.
What'd you do out there?
It was for business. Met up with Brad Lee, Lightspeed. I don't know if you know Brad Lee, but he's big in the social media space. He has a company called Lightspeed. He builds online courses.
Okay.
He's worked with like Tony Robbins, Wolf of Wall Street,
Dope.
Big people. So my partner pitched him on coming in as a partner with us on our media company, and it looks like it's going to happen. So,
sweet. I like Vegas, man. I mean, I like it for a short amount of time. I don't know if I could ever live there. And I was offered the opportunity to live there a few years ago, and I was like, no.
You fit right in.
I know. It was to work in a tattoo shop and, help my friends with their tattoo shop, whatever. But I don't know about Vegas.
I can't for one reason. The heat is nuts.
It's too much.
Like, people complain about this heat, but
no,
it doesn't compare to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's sauna heat.
It was like 112, 117 degrees out.
Yeah.
And exactly, it's like a sauna. You feel like you're getting blow dried in the face. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Vegas is a lot. The couple times that I've been there, one of my best friends lives there. Like, we go run an errand, and I'm like, can we just go home? Like, I don't want to go get groceries right now. I'm gonna melt outside and pass out and fucking die.
For real.
But for those who don't know, Nelson has a podcast called Montana Method Podcast. So what inspired you to start your podcast, and how did you come up with the concept? What is, like, do you have a theme? Tell me about the podcast.
Yeah. So it's a pretty wild story. Most people I tell it to, by the end of my 5 minutes of telling my story, they're just like, bro, is that a movie? And I'm like, no, that's my life. So back in 2021, I had arrived at what could be considered what every man wants in his life. I was a successful entrepreneur. I made money. I had the respect of my peers. I was known in my community. I was in the medical marijuana industry. Everybody knew who I was, what we did, all that. I traveled every few months. Like, I lived the quote unquote life that I thought I had wanted to build. I was there, right? And then from one night to the next, because of a really dumb decision I made a few years prior, I get arrested by the FBI. I get indicted, my life falls apart, and then from one day to the next, I go from being a respected entrepreneur to being
a criminal,
to being labeled a criminal.
Yeah,
and it made me reevaluate my life. Like, I literally I was 28 years old at the time, and I had nothing to show for my life. Like, I had nothing, just from one day to the next, and it made me think, man, did what I value really matter if it could be lost so easily?
In a second,
right? So it made me realize that I wasn't really I wasn't valuing the things that really mattered in life. And I wanted to really think about, like, all right, now what am I going to value in life? Like, what is something I can look forward to and I can build and be like, wow, I'm proud I did this. So what I decided to do was write a book, because everybody in history that I ever read about wrote a book. That's how I found out about them, and that's how you knew they ever existed, right? Like, no matter what happens to me, I could die tomorrow. There was proof I was here. You could read my book. So I decided to start writing it in August of 2021. I got it published in March of 2022, and then I did my book launch, which Sin, Days, a few of our friends, they were there. And it went really well. Sold a few copies, made a few $1,000 that night. And I was like, wow, maybe I have a future in this, whatever this is. I didn't even know what it was that I was doing. And then I was a huge Joe Rogan fan for many years. Me and Joe Rogan.
Who isn't?
Right? Me and Joe Rogan have the same birthday.
Okay.
August 11th. So it's
mine is the 18th.
What?
Yeah.
Leo gang, dog. All right. See, I knew we were going to be friends. So what happened was I wanted to stay in that realm of what I was doing, of kind of like going out there, getting my story out there, and meeting people, and just inspiring others. And I decided to start my podcast. I started in June of 2022, June 6, 2022, Tupac's birthday. So, yeah.
Did you do that on purpose?
No,
oh.
No, I just coincidentally. I started in a microphone with no camera in my office, and then from there I grew into a studio. Then I actually got sentenced halfway through recording season 2 of the podcast. When I started having like a full-blown studio, I actually got sentenced to 8 months. So what I did was I recorded 2 months of the podcast. I scheduled everything. Yep. So if you didn't know me, I was out. I was doing my thing. So I go in January 2020. I'm
doing that shit when I'm like sick or in the hospital or dealing with my health shit. I'm like, I'm just gonna schedule
this.
All the Instagram stories and everything.
Everything. Like, Yep.
Can't let nobody know shit.
Everybody thinks you're, doing, and it's
killing
like,
it. Yeah. You're in jail.
I haven't recorded in like 6 months. So yeah. And then I did a lot of, that gave me peace of mind that I was going to keep going while I was gone. And it actually gave me that peace of mind and that tranquility to go work on myself in prison. Because for me, I ended up there obviously because I made a bad decision, and I want to make sure to never make that decision ever again. And I did a lot of growth in there. I read 34 books in 5 months. I lost 20 pounds. I did a lot of meditating.
You used the time wisely.
I did, yeah. I did a lot of meditating. Like, I would sit by myself for an hour or two every day and just be with nature. Luckily, we were able to be outside, and there was like a beautiful forest and the wind, and I went around a good time of year in the spring. So I reconnected with like the earth, It was very crazy enough. It might have been one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah. Like therapeutically.
Yeah. Aside from the opportunities that came that way after I got back, like that's a whole other story. But anyway, so I get out in May of 2023, a little over a year ago. And I had a YouTube short go crazy. Get like a few 100,000 views. And I was like, oh my God, this works.
And you didn't even know.
No. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, this works, And I was like, man, what can I do now? Like, if I didn't even have doing anything hands-on with this, and it did that well, what can I do now? So I started posting like 3 times a day, like going in hard.
On what? On what platform?
All of them.
Okay.
TikTok, mainly TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram were the main 3 ones.
Yeah.
And within 3 months, I had a clip get like a few million hits, and the rest has been history. Nice. So here we are.
And who has been like your most memorable guest on your podcast?
Man, in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna hit episode 100. So,
congrats! I think you're like episode 12 for me.
That's cool. Like that. 12 is a good number. Yeah. 12 is a good number. I've had I like so many people for so many different reasons. Like, a guest we have in common is El Caballo. He came on my show.
He's hilarious.
He was so funny, dude.
He's fucking hilarious. With him, you don't even have to, like, talk or anything. Like, you just give him the mic and just let him do him.
Something I liked about him, though, is that he... obviously, I knew he was going to be funny, but he's a really smart guy. Yeah. Very intelligent, man. Yeah. Very intelligent.
He's not what he really portrays himself to be online,
Yeah. So El Caballo was great. I had Sin on. Sin was my first episode when I got cameras. Yeah? My first episode in the studio.
Sin's good people.
That was a very deep episode. We talked about a lot of deep stuff. Days was a great episode. Mind you, this is that's season 2. Like, I have a whole season 3 that was fantastic.
So the whole season 1 doesn't have video?
Doesn't have video, yeah.
Okay.
Season 2 is when I started video. Season 3 is right when I got out. And then season 4 was this year. So, if I had to pick, if you put a gun to my head and I had to pick one person, I can't, because not only have I learned so much from my guests, I've learned so much about myself, and I've grown so much throughout the process because I keep seeing different faces of myself. I keep finding different things I'm interested in, and I'm all about the story. Like, I love hearing good stories. I love putting good stories out there. I really think a good story changes the world. Like, that's how people learn. That's how people stay engaged. That's what gets passed down from generation to generation. Good stories,
One of the things I like about podcasting is that you get to have one-on-one conversations with people, and it's not through text and it's not through a screen. 100%. And like, we're recording this, but we're having a conversation and we're learning about each other as we record. Like, that's the one thing I really enjoy 100%. about doing.
It's almost like, what I love about podcasting is these one-on-one private conversations you have with friends. you get to display that in the world now.
Yeah.
There's many times I'm sure you've been hanging out with friends and you're like, man, I wish we could save this somehow.
Yeah.
Or I wish other people could experience this with us.
Recording this right now.
Yeah. And that's what podcasting has done for me. I've been able to have conversations with people that I find interesting and build new relationships and let the world see real authentic connection, you know?
Yeah, and learn who they are outside of like social media or whatever they may have thought they
100%.
were. Yeah.
And something I'm sure you've encountered is I'm not really interested in like, yeah, it's great if you have a big following, but I'm more interested in like having a real authentic person.
Yeah.
With a real authentic story and a real authentic message. That is important to me. Other than that, I don't really care. If I find you interesting, or if you're an old friend of mine and I know you have something important to say, that's what matters to me.
Yeah, me too. Like, the reason I started this was because, yes, I have a platform on the internet, but I wanted to give other people a platform as well.
100%.
To talk about whatever it is that they wanted. How do you, you already kind of said that one of your shorts kind of went viral on YouTube.
Yeah.
How do you continue to grow your audience, and what strategies do you feel have been like most effective with growing your audience?
Evolving. You have to adapt with the times. So I'll tell you specifically what happened with me was after I had that first YouTube clip go viral, I was like, all right, this is great, but I already saw a shift in content. Like, content had changed because before I went into prison, I had hired an editor and he did all my stuff. I didn't know how to edit.
Yeah.
But when I got back, the style of video had changed. Like, the style of content was totally different.
Very choppy.
Yeah,
like quick
it was fast.
Yeah.
And I asked him, yo, do you know how to do this? And he's like, no, look, for real, like, I don't know how to do that. And it forced me to learn how to edit.
Yeah.
And I really I was like, all right, if it is to be, it's up to me, I guess. And I started learning how to edit in that fast-paced style that's common now.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants because they're scrolling like this all day. So it's like they need the quick fix.
You have to be quick and you have to have something that grabs their attention and you got to be different. So for me, it's adapting. I learned how to edit. Within 3 months of editing, I had another clip go crazy. Like, just being flexible and being adaptable to what happens on social media, because as you know, it's like a platform that's changing every day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Revolving fucking door.
For sure.
We can't keep up. We're getting too old for this shit. These kids are taking over and I don't like it. Bro, back in the day, like, you fucking, I don't know, like, in the modeling world, you took a picture, you sent it into a magazine, you got published, you had to go to Barnes and Noble to like look at your shit. You're like, yes,
go buy like Vogue or whatever,
whatever tattoo magazine, like, you had to buy the fucking thing. Now it's like, you record one 30-second TikTok, you're a millionaire. Like, what the fuck? They don't have
crazy.
Like, yes, it's work. I'm not saying it's not work, but like back then it was like a process.
Yeah.
Now it's just like post a lot and see what happens.
100%. No, but you know what? It's funny. I was having this conversation with my friend on the way up here. You know what I can't stand about social media? Is
everything.
So many things. Oh my God! Don't get me started.
Just say the list.
One of the main things I can't stand is the gurus, the fake gurus who are like, oh yeah, follow my formula and you're gonna go viral. It's like, dog, social media comes down to two things: staying consistent and trying different things. That's it. You have to, if this didn't work, you have to try something else. And that didn't work, try something else. Something will work. That's what every guru will teach you.
Yeah.
They test everything until they find something that works.
For me,
that's it.
My biggest ick with social media is the spiritual gurus. Those people me tienen mal. There has been times where I'm scrolling through TikTok and the lives or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, there'll be a little ass girl, 19 years old, whatever.
With her little crystals.
With tremendo background, right? All the neons and all the shits and whatever. And she's there like with a candle rubbing herbs. Send me $100 right now. We'll make your boyfriend come back. And I'm just like, what in the actual fuck is going on? And they're getting paid.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, tell Johnny that I want to, do this for me and Johnny. Michaela and Johnny forever. I'm like,
that's
what
wild.
the fuck? And I'll get stuck on it. Watching it, like,
because it's so dumb.
I can't believe this is happening. They'll 100%. Burn the matches. Whichever match burns faster is the love of your life.
Right.
What? No, bitch, because you lit one first. So that's why that one's burning faster.
100%.
Like, what the fuck?
It's wild.
Social media is wild.
It is, definitely.
I feel like I can't keep up.
And don't get me started on each platform is like TikTok. Bro.
The worst. TikTok's the worst. God.
No, but you know what? The YouTube comments go hard. Like people talk shit about the TikTok comments. The YouTube comments go hard because I turned the moderation off on my account, so I let them say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
Yo, these YouTube comments go in. They're mean, bro.
Yeah.
They say some crazy stuff.
I think I get the most hate on TikTok, actually.
Yeah, no, TikTok's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
My YouTube is not so bad. It's mostly, like pervs that are like, whatever. But on TikTok, it's like, it's
wild.
bad. Especially if I share my opinion on something. Oh, Lord.
No, but that's like a common thing. Whenever someone puts their opinion out, but
if you put your opinion out and someone disagrees, it's just like, oh, you're an idiot. I put my opinion out, it's like, stop talking, show your ass, what are you doing? Like,
that's wild.
Nobody asked you to fucking talk, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
You know what's funny? I have a friend who's like heavy into the political content, and she's really hot. And the same thing happens to her. Whenever it's not like a political video and she's just taking a picture of herself in a like nice dress or something, it's like, oh, you're not about making change or politics. Put your tits away. It's like, dude, she can't take a picture of herself.
Let her feel herself for
yeah,
a second. What the fuck's the problem?
It's crazy.
What was the clip that went viral while you were...
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The very first one.
You had no idea.
Yeah. The very first one was a clip where I was talking about Honda. Do you know how Honda tests their cars?
No. Oh,
so
shit.
Honda, it's pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
Honda, but whatever.
So Honda.
Hold on. Okay.
We're good. Mm-hmm. So Honda basically, they take their car to the max. They slam on the brakes. They slam on the gas. They go full speed. They turn on a dime. Things you should not do to your car, and they keep doing it until a car breaks. They look at the specific car part that broke, like whether the brakes failed or whatever happened. They look at why it broke. They reverse engineer it. They fix it. And then as soon as they fix it, they put the car back on the road and do the same thing. They just stress test the shit out of the car. Meaning, that's kind of like why Hondas are indestructible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why Hondas are such
tough. They last forever.
They last forever, exactly. Because when they're tested. So... moral of the story was two different morals. One is the Japanese way of doing things. It's a philosophy called Kaizen, like constant, never-ending improvement, and that's why Hondas are great cars because they're constantly improving and constantly getting better. And then aside from that, the more of like the spiritual aspect of that is like the more you're tested and the more you go through,
the more resilient you are.
The more resilient you are, exactly.
That makes sense. I fuck with Hondas. I've had a few Hondas in my day.
Yeah.
I'm a Cadillac girl now. But
what?
Yeah,
we're friends, bro. We're homies. I don't have a Cadillac, but I'm buying a Cadillac's gonna be my next car.
Which one do you want to get?
Oh, the CT5. The CT5V.
I had a CTS for many years. Obsessed. My favorite car I've ever had.
No, for sure.
I got totaled in October.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't get the CT5. Now I got the XT4 Sport.
Oof.
Because,
nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
I used to sell Cadillacs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got that one now because after the car accident, I'm like, I need something bigger and safer. Like, I'm not trying to fucking snap my neck again and shit. Like,
right before I went to prison, for like 6 months, I worked at Ocean Cadillac. So that's when I fell back in love with the Cadillacs. I was like,
Cadillacs are
such
fucking
nice
dope.
Cars, bro.
Do you think they're underrated?
100%, bro. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Bro, you're 88, 89?
87.
87. Ooh, I was close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 92, so I'm not too far behind you. The Cadillacs and the Lincolns in Miami were the shit in the 90s, bro. Mm-hmm. If you had a Cadillac DeVille, a Lincoln Town Car, a Mercury, like...
Bro, you remember the Lincoln LS?
Of course.
I loved that car growing up. I was like a teenager, like, oh my God, I want an LS. My mom's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I never wanted the cute little BMW.
No,
the fucking
I wanted a Cadillac.
I wanted
her to be cool. You know, the cool guys with a nice Cadillac.
All the movies, all the gangsters are
driving
Cadillacs.
Cadillacs, bro. Yes. So working.
Luda sings about Cadillacs. You can't fuck up with a caddy.
Definitely. And yeah, working at Cadillac, I fell back in love with that car. Mm-hmm. I said, bro, I sat in a CT5, a black on black CT5. I was like, oh my God.
What about the black wing?
No, that's on another level. That's like, you have to be, you know?
Yeah.
That's like $150,000 car, you know?
I sat in it and I was like, this is nice.
This is a very nice car, yeah.
Pero para mí no. Ahora no. I'm like, give me the SUV.
Yeah. For
sure. I'm not in a fucking black wing.
Going 150?
No. The thing is, like, when I have a car, I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go. Let's see what you can do.
And see what you got to open it up.
And unfortunately, my accident wasn't even my fault. I got hit by a fucking dump truck from the back.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Dump.
A dump truck.
A dump truck dumped on you?
A dump truck dumped. Yes, bro. Like, I was stopped on I-95. I was on the way to a photo shoot. Traffic was stopped. I'm stopped. We had to come to a quick stop.
Right.
And you know, when that happens, you look back to make sure everybody behind you is also doing the same thing.
Right.
Everybody behind me stopped. 3 cars behind me.
The truck.
And then I see this truck fucking swerving in the distance, and I'm like, oh God. And I start looking around. I'm like, I can't do shit. And right there,
I would have jumped out of the car. I would have been like, bro, let me get out of this car.
Honestly, like, I froze, to be honest.
No, it's
I was
okay.
like, oh shit, whatever. But if I would have jumped out, I would have probably gone on my bones crushed, because my car.
Holy shit.
So I got whacked. I'll show you the pictures later, or I'll put them in here. Editor, right here. Put the picture of my car. Fucking smashed, like.
That's crazy.
And then I fucking got hit so hard that I went forward, hit the windshield, and when I went back, my seat went back and twisted.
Wow.
Like, that's how hard I went back.
Holy shit.
And then I hit the wall and whatever. It was a whole shit.
That's wild.
But yeah, I was so upset.
Well, thank God nothing happened to you.
No, I know. I mean, I have some herniated discs and shit in my neck. But when I got out of the car, the first thing I was like, no! Like, my fucking car. Fuck! I was fucking FaceTime my dad. Look at this shit! Like, everyone's there, like, running into the ambulance and shit. And I'm like, oh my God! With a fucking chichong on my head. My fucking car! Like, I was so pissed because I loved that CTS. Like, I really did. But
it's a badass car.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start a podcast? Maybe someone who doesn't necessarily have a story to tell like you do. What advice would you give?
You have to have a reason for doing this, and the reason you're doing this has to be very strong. This is a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of dedication. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing this for a higher purpose, you're going to quit very fast. The reason I do this is bigger than me. It's bigger than just 2 kids, 2 people in a room. Find a purpose attached to it, and don't let it go for nobody. Chase a dream. It has to be something big, something really big. Mm-hmm. You don't have to want to be, a media mogul and like a millionaire like me, but it has to be something important, something close to your heart, something near and dear to you. And if you want to do this for real. Don't play around with it. Like, be consistent, stay serious, and you'll be noticed. I have an interesting statistic about podcasts. 90% of podcasts don't make more than 1 episode.
Really?
Yeah.
90%?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people give up after 1 episode?
Because they see how much work it takes, and they're like, all right, no, this wasn't such a good idea,
That's insane.
It is.
That 90% is a fucking lot.
It is. And then it's something like I'll show you the video of where another certain percentage don't make more than 10, and only 1% make more than 20 episodes.
Really?
So if you make more than 20 episodes, you're in the top 1% of podcasters worldwide.
Damn. Look at me then, because I think I have like 16 so far.
There you go. 5 more. You join the 1% club. Fuck. I'm at 100. I'm almost at 100. So I'm like,
You're like, yeah. Fuck. I can't believe it's 90%.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Actually, this equipment was given to me by a friend of mine who started a podcast, and she didn't want to do it anymore. And she was like, do you want this? I'm like, sure.
You know how lucky you are? Because this shit is expensive, bro.
No, I know. Yeah, give it to me. It sat in my storage for like a month, and when this space became available, I'm like, this is what I can use it for.
There you go.
Like, okay, I'll figure it out now.
That's another word of advice. If you're trying to start a podcast, look for used equipment. People are trying to get rid of this all the time because they quit. You'll be able to buy it super cheap.
That's actually like really smart, because I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I have never been a quitter that quickly.
There you go.
Holy shit.
You're not part of that club.
Yeah. So you said make sure that you stay consistent.
100%.
How do you stay motivated to stay consistent with a podcast schedule and with posting?
My vision. Like, I just had my vision that I have for myself is just so big that it inspires me. Well, I just have to think about it. On those days where I just feel like shit, and it's like I get 0 views because I've gotten 0 views on a video.
Yeah.
And I get 0 views on a video, and the comments are hitting you hard, and like all that kind of stuff, or like a guest cancels on you when you like you set up everything special for them, and you have everything organized, and you're super last minute they cancel on you. I just remember my vision, and I said, bro, this is just one step closer to where I want to be.
Yeah.
It's
a lot
meant
of people
to be.
don't have that though. That
it all starts with that, man.
Call it that mentality, I guess. Like, some people just, they don't have discipline and consistency. It's the same with like the gym or whatever it is.
100%.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that shit.
I'm a big believer in the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Like, if I don't have dedication and passion when it comes to my health, I'm probably not going to have dedication and passion when it comes to my career. I'm probably not going to have dedication and passion when it comes to my relationships. I'm probably not going to have dedication and passion when it comes to raising my kids. So I'm a big believer in that I have to give this my full time and attention, because if I don't, it's going to spill over into the rest of my life, you know? So when you pick to do something, just take it seriously and make sure it's something you love, you know, something you're really passionate about.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's been times where I'll start like some project and people are like, wow, but you're really like, and I'm like, yeah. Like, if you're not as aggressive as I am in attacking this project,
get out of my way,
then
bro.
Just move.
Yes,
just move.
Agreed.
Now you're fucking in my way. That's a Leo thing.
It's definitely a Leo thing. 100%.
Like, get
100%.
the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've experienced that multiple times when I've tried to do like different things throughout my life with people, and I'm just like, you're just in the way now.
100%.
Like, I get it. You have good intentions, but like, no.
It's okay if you don't want to do this, just say it.
Yeah.
You know, and don't do it.
Or if you just don't know how to do it and you need help,
then say that too.
Ask for help. But some people will just sit there like just kind of.
People don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's confrontation that'll benefit them, meaning a moment where they need to say something out loud.
Yeah.
People just naturally take the path of least resistance, which is let me not say anything.
Yeah, and people don't like to be vulnerable either, so they don't like to admit when they don't know something.
100%.
So yeah, I've experienced that quite a bit.
Social media will humble you, because this is something that changes. Even the people that are quote unquote experts and making the most money, they have to constantly be learning.
Yeah.
So this will humble you really quick. If you're not willing to learn, don't even start.
Yeah,
because this is a never-ending process.
Yeah, podcasting is a lot. The first couple episodes, I was really overwhelmed. I was like, what the fuck? And then like with the cameras turning off every 30 minutes, I was like, what am I gonna do? How do I figure this out?
Right.
But I think I'm doing all right.
No, you're good. You're 16 episodes in. You're good.
Yeah, shit. Almost in the 1%.
Ah.
I can't believe that. I'm in shock still.
5 more.
Yeah.
5 more to go.
What do you think sets your podcast apart from others in your niche?
I would definitely have to say, like, there's no one like me as far as, like, that Miami flavor. And because I do, it's very apparent that I'm Cuban and I'm from Miami. My culture. That ties very heavily. I mean, my whole brand is about Scarface, right? It's about Tony Montana. So, which, by the way, in case you're wondering, the Montana method comes from Tony Montana. And the reason I called it the Montana method is because Tony Montana was my first inspiration in life. Like, he was the first person. I was a little kid. I wrote this in the introduction of my book. I'm gonna give you a signed copy.
Sweet.
In the introduction of my book, I tell you the story of how I saw the movie for the first time. And it's like, the way I describe it, you're like, damn, this guy found this movie really interesting.
Yeah.
Because imagine, I'm a Cuban kid. I don't really know anybody with money.
You saw it in a different way than everyone else. That was just like, oh shit, he's shooting everybody and like whatever. Yeah.
No, I found it interesting that obviously I knew I wasn't gonna sell drugs and kill people, but I found it interesting that this guy got here with nothing, with holes in his shoes, and lived in a tent. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna become a multimillionaire and get everything I want in life. Like, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna do it. And he did it. You know what I mean? So.
I remember when I was a kid watching that movie and seeing the elevator in his house, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, right.
Elevators in their houses. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
That film. That scene was filmed in a building called the Atlantis in Brickell.
Yeah. It's still like the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that about Miami though. How they don't like fuck up with the old shit.
Yeah.
For the most part, sometimes they do, you know. But
bro, speaking of developers, Apple just bought a building in Coral Gables. They're gonna have a headquarters off of Miracle Mile. Apple and Microsoft just bought a building in downtown Miami, and their headquarters is going to be in downtown Miami now. And like 7 hedge funds have their headquarters in downtown Miami.
All I think about is traffic when I think about
downtown I know. Miami. Don't even get me started.
Like, people say it, and I don't think of the buildings. I don't think of nothing except cars. Like, just rows of cars. That's the first image that pops into my head. Like,
I know why you live way out here in Broward, because it's like
it's great out
it's
here.
too much. Yeah.
Miami. I mean, I love my city. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
I don't want to attack me, people, but
it's rough.
It's a lot of traffic. You know what I don't like about Miami, which whatever. Not that I don't help homeless people. I am that person that gives them all money and stuff, but The one thing is like, I cannot fathom paying that much money for an apartment and then walking downstairs and having to like step over 30 people sleeping on the floor.
It looks like Los Angeles. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. And the prices in Miami are fucking insane.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
What challenges have you faced along the way with, let's just say with the podcast, because obviously in life you face a lot of challenges. And how did you overcome those things? Like, what were the biggest obstacles or hurdles?
Man, that's a really good question, and no one's asked me. I have a couple situations. When I started, I had a co-host, and from one day to the next, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to be a part of it anymore." And we had started. We were like maybe 10 episodes in, so we were getting a little out there. And then I didn't even skip a beat. I was like, "Oh, you don't want to do it anymore? All right, great." Montana Method, Papo. This was inspired by me, so.
Yeah.
I picked up all my stuff. I started recording. It was still audio only. I started recording. I was in my room in my house, and then I'd remotely bring in the person, and we'd do a whole audio session.
Like, todo mundo cállense,
yeah.
Estoy grabando.
That was the first one. The second time was, all right, like, this isn't going to last. I need to do a podcast with video. What am I going to do here? And funny enough, I hit up a friend of mine. Shout out to what Josue has to say. My good friend Josue that has a podcast. And I hit him up. I was like, dude, where do you film yours? Because he had video already. Oh, no, I do it here. I went to go meet him at his studio. Before you know it, boom. There we go. I had the studio. That was a big jump. That's when it became real. It wasn't a science project anymore. You know, It wasn't like a hobby. The biggest one was right after I got back from prison, I had no money. And I had to pay for studio time. So I had to figure out...
That sucks.
Yeah, because...
you don't even know where the podcast is going to go at that point. Yeah. So you're just putting money into it that you may not have. Like, yeah,
100%. And but I'm a person that bets on myself. Like, I slapped it all on a credit card. And I said, I'll figure out how to play it.
Yeah. Like, charges to the game. Let's go.
Yep, 100%. And I recorded over that summer... like 40 episodes that summer I recorded. And I'll never forget it. I maxed out my credit cards. I finished recording. And I was like, man, what now? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And one of those episodes actually ended up being the owner of the company that I work at now. It's a digital marketing firm. And he was so impressed by the podcast that he said, man, now I know what I want you to do. Like, we're going to become partners. You're going to open a studio with me. And of course, you know how people are. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Bro, 2 months later, we opened the studio. And now I have my own place.
Okay.
You know? So it goes to show you that you never know where the opportunities are going to come from. You know, I went from being his employee to being his partner. And it's really a blessing, man. Like,
and fear is a big aspect when it comes to people not diving into what they want to do.
100%.
Like, or they say, I don't have time. Like, if you want to, you make time. Like, everyone has enough time to do
what they want to do.
What's most important to them.
100%.
Yeah. I don't deal with the excuses.
Even the little bit that I had told you earlier about the editing, like, I needed to make my content better and I didn't know how. And I just sat there on YouTube and watched videos until I kind of like, I would watch the YouTube video and edit. And watch the video and edit a little bit. And I did that 6 or 7 or 8 times. Until I had it down packed, and I said, all right.
That's another thing, too. So much information is so accessible to us on the internet. No excuse. And people are like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, fucking Google it.
Yeah, bro.
There's a tutorial for everything on YouTube.
100%.
Same with health, makeup, fixing cars.
1000%.
Whatever the fuck you want to do is on the internet. Like,
1000%.
The excuses gotta stop, people. It's not working anymore.
No, 150%. I agree.
How do you choose your guests and what do you look for in potential guests?
I look for interesting stories more than anything. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't really care much about like cloud or because originally I did that when I first started and I'm sure this has happened to you. You meet these people who have these big followings in real life and you're like
boring.
Bro, you're whack. Like and they're totally different when you turn off the camera. So I said, man, that's what social media is. I'm good, bro. I'll build this on my own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make real content with real people who are authentic, and I'm gonna put up stories that no one has ever heard of, and I'm gonna make this real. You know, make this about the story. And that's how I've done it. You know, as it could be someone I meet for the first time. It could be, you know, a friend of mine that I just think of. It just really, more than anything, is their message. Like, if they have something to say, and it's something impactful, something that's gonna inspire people, that's what mainly matters.
I feel like in the beginning you kind of want to look for people that have a following
to help you a little bit,
grow and whatever. But yeah, I've met, you know, influencers and
you're just like, dude,
YouTubers and I'm just like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
100%, bro.
You do dances on TikTok, like you're not.
Yes, 100. That's another thing about my content. I'm not willing to act like an asshole on camera. Like, if it's not me, I'm not doing it.
I am the same way.
100%.
Especially because I do OnlyFans. I'm put into this category where it's like, let's twerk on this, and I'm like, no. If it's not like funny, I'm not gonna do it. Like,
I get you.
I don't do that content with other girls like trying to be sexy. Like, no, I'm making it funny. Like,
I get you.
Because that's not me in real life. So I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know, like, what's the word? Stereotypes, I guess.
Of course.
With OnlyFans girls, and I really try to like
be different,
distance myself from that. Although
right.
I do, you know, the content, whatever. But bro, even on OnlyFans, like, I'll be on lives, I swear, and people don't believe me when I say this shit, but anyone that follows me on OnlyFans, I'll be on an OnlyFans live talking to them about like sports and fights.
Get the fuck out of here.
Did you guys see the fight with whatever? And like,
that's cool. And people will comment like, oh yeah, the fight was raw.
They're like, who did you think should have won?
Masvidal whooped Nate Diaz's ass, bro.
Exactly. And I'm there talking about fights. Like, obviously,
that's cool, man.
Obviously, I'm like twerking in between, but then I'm like, guys.
She's like a stripper, but you're homie.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I sit down and I'm like, bro, like, did you see what? Yeah, like, it's weird as fuck. And they're all like.
Nah, but people like it, you know? Because it's kind of like.
It's authentic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And they
that's
tell
cool.
me, they're like, you're like the realest bitch on OnlyFans. Like, I'm like, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's weird.
You got a community going on.
It is. And they know each other, which is weird.
No, because I'm sure their boys like, yo, you gotta check out this. She is pretty hot, but that's not why I follow her. She's funny.
No, like, even the ones that don't know each other, they know each other from being my
on
chat.
your channel.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like, and they'll be like, oh, today where's Jesse? And I'm like, I don't know, where is he? Like, they're asking about each other. It's funny as fuck. They help each other with money. Like, if someone doesn't have money to tip or whatever, another guy
like, I got you.
This is for Nelson. And then I'm like,
funny.
oh, your boy got you. Like, it's so weird. Like, the community that I've built there, it's like,
I didn't even know there was live capability on OnlyFans. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That platform has grown so much.
It really has.
Crazy.
But it's like still so like
in the infancy stage.
Kind of like, it doesn't work well to like co-stream with other people like the way like you could do on Twitch or like Instagram or whatever. Like, there's just certain things, like, videos take forever to load. I'm like, get it together.
Yeah.
You have like 1 million creators on this shit. Like, figure it out. But so how has everything? Well, I mean, you kind of touched on this. How has everything evolved since you started? Obviously, from audio to video to now you have a studio.
I mean, from June of 2022 to now, we're talking 2 years. So 2 years in social media is like 20. Yeah. You know, it's so. I mean, think about the things that have happened. Like, Instagram took on Instagram Reels, right? Then YouTube Shorts. You know, TikTok. Like, there's so many different things that have happened. Like the YouTube platform itself, there's so much more you can do with it now.
Even Facebook,
yeah.
Facebook has, are they Reels?
Yeah, Facebook has Reels now.
Reels.
TikTok, I don't know if you know this, but you can post pictures on TikTok now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just constant. And then, of course, content itself, like podcasting has. I thought podcasting was big when I got in. Podcasting now, crazy. It's insane. You know.
What are your favorite podcasts?
Joe Rogan for sure.
Me too. Yeah.
I follow Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David. I love what he does. I get bored sometimes when he talks about politics, but I originally started following him when he would talk about like entrepreneurship and motivation and that kind of stuff. So I love his content. I follow another guy called Chris Williamson. He does a podcast called Modern Wisdom. fantastic podcast. I'd recommend it to everybody if you don't know about it. He films like aesthetically, I want to get to that level. He records everything on these cameras called Ursas. I don't even know if you know what that is, but it records in 12K.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Exactly.
You can see his fucking pores.
It looks like a movie. Like, without exaggeration, the quality, it has cinema quality recording. That's what I aspire to. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he does a whole aesthetic look for the specific guest. He changes his set depending on the person. Aesthetically, that's who I aspire to be like. And then as far as like monetarily, obviously I want to, like, Joe Rogan is who I aspire to be. Yeah.
I like Joe Rogan too. I like Andrew Huberman.
Andrew Huberman is really good.
I love
him.
Also have a crush on him, but I love him. Andrew Huberman.
I've never heard anybody say that.
What?
Yeah. Even though I would think it's very common to hear that because he's like this big swole dude, you know?
He's like, not to sound like a basic bitch, but like when girls say daddy, that's what I think of. I'm like, he's like, you know, the gray hair.
With the
he's
beard.
Like in his 40s probably.
He's probably like 230 pounds of solid muscle.
Yeah, it's just, and then he takes his shirt off and he's covered in tattoos. I'm like, what the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here. He has tattoos?
You haven't seen him without a shirt?
No, he's always wearing a dress shirt. Yes. He's always like super clean.
Bro, there's videos of him like working out, like outside.
And he's like tatted from head to toe?
Tatted. Fucking ripped. I'm like, oh, I liked you before. Now I'm scared. No, but I do like his podcast. I obviously like the guests that he has on, and I listen to mostly like health shit.
Yeah.
And one astrology podcast. One of my good friends, her name is Christine Rodriguez. She has a podcast called Astrology Now.
Dope.
And I listen to hers too. Also, she has like a really soothing voice. So like, if
you have to have like a radio voice.
I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this is the new version of a radio show. So when you have a good voice, you know, there's nothing like having good audio. If I could give another piece of advice, invest in microphones before you invest in cameras. Because good audio, there's nothing like good audio.
Yeah.
You can be recorded on an iPhone, but if the audio quality is really good, people are going to be like, man.
Where does your podcast stream? Like, where do you have
YouTube.
What platforms?
Well, I stream live on YouTube every Friday at noon. So I stream live, and then it's available on any, you know, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify. It's available everywhere.
Okay. I don't think I have a radio voice. I just have a Hialeah voice. And I can't do shit about it. So.
It sounds like Lucy Lowe.
I know. So what are your future goals and your aspirations for Montana Method?
Co-founder, founding partner of a media company. Run it up to like a 9-figure company, at least for sure. Make something really big. Give creators an opportunity to be a part of a movement, something big, based out of Miami. We don't really have anything like that down here. Give influencers, podcasters, a real chance to shine. I want to give people like myself who didn't really know what they were doing, show them the ropes, show them how to do it, become my partner, and I'll help you every step of the way. So that's my vision, to build the biggest media company out there. I have in the works. I'm still writing it. I'm writing a comic book that I hope to turn into a TV series one day.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's my holy grail. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope to leave behind. Like if I die and I'm remembered for something, I hope to leave that behind. Like, man, that TV show this kid wrote, bro, it's the best TV show I've ever seen in my life. So that's what I hope to leave behind. And aside from that, just leave a good legacy, you know.
What kind of TV show? Is it like a comedy, a drama?
A little bit of like everything. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
My goal with my brand is to showcase us to the world, Miami, and you know the Cubanisms and all our stuff. So
you know, it'd be dope, like getting a building full of like rooms like this and renting them out to people for podcasts, just like the podcast fucking headquarters.
Yeah, something like that. Own a big building where every room has a different design, a different set.
Creative.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Photo shoots, videos, whatever.
The end goal, my 5-year goal, is to own a 3-story building where one whole floor is all the corporate team, another whole floor is the creative team, and then another whole floor is nothing but the creative space. Whether you want to do photo sessions, music videos, podcasts, everything. It's like you walk into one room, it's oh shit, it's Montana Method set, and then you walk into the next, oh my god, oh shit, Voice of Vicious, you know. So that's my goal.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Any last words, sir? Not that you're, having your last meal right now, but
I appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. Are you excited about any upcoming guests on your podcast?
Well, I think this will probably come out after.
Me, yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for our episode this Friday.
Oh, man.
Friday, July, what's it going to be? I don't know. But yeah.
July 12th.
Friday, July. Oh, look, 12th.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
On the 12th and you're the 12th.
Look at that. There you go.
It's going to be a good episode. You could fucking ask me whatever.
Right before Leo season 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I'm an open
Ours
book.
is going to be exciting. I have a young lady by the name of Marta Bueno, who I've followed for a long time, and I ran into her at a gathering. She ran for Miami-Dade commissioner at one point. She's the only libertarian to ever run for Miami-Dade commissioner. A really cool lady. Libertarians aren't like a thing. Most people still don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really like a political party. It's more like a way of life. We believe in private property, in like just basic human rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have the right to impede on other people, small government, that kind of stuff.
So do you record on Fridays, you said, because
yeah,
you go live
Fridays at noon,
and then the episode drops that same day?
Yeah, it's live, and then you can watch it whenever,
and
pretty
then
much.
It's uploaded to Apple and Amazon or whatever.
Maureen's coming on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's coming
cool.
on next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
has a cool story.
A really cool story, right? You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As soon as and I'm a huge fight fan. Like I love boxing. I love the UFC. So
bitch is sick. I can call her bitch because she's one of my besties, but she is fucking nasty.
That's dope.
Like nasty. Girls cry sparring her. Like I can't fucking hit her. Like they get frustrated. I'm like my dog. That's gonna be a good episode.
Going in.
Yeah, she has a cool story. But
dope.
Thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. You are welcome anytime. Guys, make sure you follow Montana Method Podcast. I'm going to put everything down below. I'll put it here somewhere on the screen. Not me. Josue will put it here somewhere on the screen. But thank you guys for listening, tuning in, watching, all that stuff. Make sure you're following on all platforms. And I will see you guys next Friday. Bye.
To the next one. Say goodnight to the bad guy.